What's up, y'all? How you doing? Happy Thanksgiving. Welcome to the Wrestling Hypothesis podcast, where we break the hype, expose the truth, and speak for the fans who sees the business for what it really is today. Because if you ain't talking, I ain't watching. I'm your boy Ricardo, with my main guy Abba. How you doing, my mans?
I'm good, man. Good evening. Happy Friday before, well, whenever this comes out, right before Survivor Series. If you're watching this on Friday, Saturday, Sunday, doesn't matter. We're going to be going over everything Survivor Series, predictions, the preview going into it, all the main matches, our thoughts, and yeah, bunch of other topics from myself and Ricardo over here. Yeah, looking forward to the show, man. Let's get into it. A lot to get into for sure.
Yeah, man, absolutely. Kenny will be on his way sooner or later. So only time will tell. Well, he'll come into the episode as well. But like as we know that we're gonna get started with Survivor Series and War Games featuring Brock Lesnar, Braun Breaker, Bronson Reed, Logan Paul, Drew McIntyre versus the Usos, Cody Rhodes, CM Punk, and Roman Reigns. Now, we both know that in regards to War Games match, this is the most box office superstar attraction in War Games history tenfold in its entire history in WWE when it started. But the way that this year has went down in 2025 speaks a lot, because I feel like that's the most important thing that we could come down to this in terms of War Games, in terms of what it needs to get into in 2026. How about I ask you this question, my man? In your opinion, what can War Games do to get us started for WrestleMania season? Yes.
At the women's side, Becky Lynch, Rhea Ripley, Io, AJ Lee, even. Like, we'll be seeing a lot of those key matches with those performers involved, as well as the men's side, because you have the bloodline stuff with Roman and the Usos, Cody Rhodes, CM Punk, the world champions on the same team, Logan Paul, McIntyre as well, and the Vision, no less. So a lot of your key players and performers are involved and situated in both these matchups, for better or for worse. Like, you could argue that some of this is a waste of time for a lot of them,
Mm-hmm.
but it is what it is. This is just the way things have been with around this time of the year with Survivor Series ever since WWE adopted the War Games concept, where it's like, oh, it's that time of the year, so let's shuffle all these people together and try to make sense with why these particular people are teaming with one another against this opposing team, and it's like, it's much ado about nothing. It turns out to be mostly inconsequential coming out of this show,
Okay.
but at the same time, like, it'll more than clearly set up a lot of key storylines heading into WrestleMania season, like we saw last year with Punk and
Yeah.
Roman
Mm-hmm.
reluctant partners, with Punk helping the old bloodline and fend off the new bloodline. Obviously, that played into WrestleMania with Punk, Roman, and Seth triple threats main event in night one this past year, amongst other things. But we've seen it. It's not to say that it never works out in terms of, being a factor in the main WrestleMania matches for the following year's Mania. But, we'll just see how the execution unfolds for tomorrow.
Yeah, and speaking of storylines, based on what you said, I possibly think that they need to do three things for War Games to make this work out for WrestleMania season. So, number one, you got to use War Games to create a clear WrestleMania main event path. In this match, you got 10 superstars in which a legitimate 8 of them can main event WrestleMania, hands down,
Yeah.
right? So if you use that concept in terms of main events in WrestleMania, you got to do it right. Now, I'll bring up this point in terms of the WrestleMania poster with Reigns, Cody, Brock, and Punk. You could look at that poster and say, like, that's the main event right there. You could see, and it could go a myriad of ways. It could be Cody and Reigns part 3, Punk and Lesnar at WrestleMania. It could be Cody and Lesnar. It could be Roman and Punk. It could be a myriad of things just with those 4 guys alone. Another concept that you could do in terms of a storyline is to kick off a title chase storyline. What I mean by that is, look at the World Heavyweight Championship and the WWE Championship. As of right now, there are no contenders. 0 for either title, right? By using this War Games match to propel the superstars that you have in, you got to make the case on which superstar makes the best case for either title. We saw a glimpse of it based on Monday back at MSG, where Roman Reigns was eyeing the World Heavyweight Championship, and then again this past Monday he was looking at both championships this past Monday. So you also got Reigns as a possible contender, Braun Breaker, Bronson Reed, Brock Lesnar, Logan Paul. That's a long shot, but still, Logan Paul. Don't sleep on my man Logan Paul, right? And hell, I can't believe I'm saying this. Even Jey Uso, even though I don't think he deserves it ever again. Personally, I don't care what anybody says.
But you know damn well Jey Uso is going to be in that finals of this John Cena tournament.
Man, please, that ain't happening. But that is not happening, right? But the fact of the matter is this: War Games is going to be box office for a particular superstar, and most importantly, and this is my third reason, and this is very, very important. If there was a person I'm seriously keeping my eyes on, despite I don't want him to be world champion again, I am keeping my eyes on Jey Uso. I really am. Because the fact of the matter is this. You can make a legitimate case based off this War Games match. You can make Jey Uso a heel. Because look at what we're seeing right now. Jey Uso's been losing every single match ever since he lost the World Heavyweight Championship. Roman Reigns himself doesn't want the Usos' help, obviously, from an individual standpoint, to go after to what he's lost. Jey Uso recently lost to CM Punk for the World Heavyweight Championship. Excuse me. And for Cody Rhodes and Jey Uso, despite they're cool and whatnot, only time will tell what will happen between those two. And to some degree, Jey Uso has a little bit of friction with his brother. So if there was a person that might possibly become a heel in his own right, it'll be Jey Uso because it's justified, right? So if there's a chance to upgrade the storyline for WrestleMania, there's a chance that Jey Uso might become a heel in terms of the right way and doing things properly for War Games.
So you're saying that, going back to your point, Ricardo, that the ultimate justification for why Jey Uso goes heel is because of the fact that he's in Roman's shadow?
The fact that he's turning heel is the fact that he views himself as not as a main event star that's continuing seeking redemption based off the amount of losses that he's done. That he's gotten. Do you know what I'm saying? So the fact that he continuously and constantly wants to redeem himself and the likelihood of being in the big leagues. And I personally don't think he's ready for the big leagues because one, he's been losing. Two, he's not conditioned well enough. Three, he's not really that good in the ring in terms of in-ring skills. Four, promo-wise, he is booty cheeks. I don't care what anybody says. That dude is ass on the mic, right? But if you change Jey Uso into a heel once again, similar to what they did when he was the right-hand man, Jey Uso. Now, if they did it like that, now we're talking. Because even I will admit, when Jey Uso was the right-hand man at the time when he was with the Bloodline, Jey Uso was killing it. Nobody questioned Jey Uso as a WWE superstar in terms of his in-ring work. When he was right-hand man, he was in shape. He was ready for every match. He was ready for every scenario. He was ready no matter what. You look at this one right here, this dude ain't ready yet. There's levels to this, as Kenny would says. And the
Right.
way he is right now, he is not there.
Right. It was a case of the position they put Jey Uso in, right, as Roman's right hand man in the Bloodline, the early stages.
Yes.
That clearly masked a lot of his weaknesses and accentuated
Exactly.
his strengths, as Paul
Yes.
Heyman loves to say.
Yes.
That he was hidden
Absolutely.
behind. Yes, he was hidden behind, like right behind the tribal chief and Roman Reigns, and that
Mm-hmm.
was where the real star power and the draw came in. Like
Yes.
that was the real main event talent in Roman, because
Yes.
he had Paul Heyman on his side, and the fact that he was a newly minted heel, like
Right.
coming off of the much critic critically panned face run that he had as the big dog. So
Yes.
that was a breath of fresh air. Then they had Jay like be pretty much his lapdog, his sidekick, like you said,
Mm-hmm.
his right hand man. So, and honestly, not for nothing, like Jay gave us some of his best career work in that 2 3
Yes.
year span. Like
Yes, he did.
not just in terms of his matches as a tag team was with his brother Jimmy, and even as a
Mm-hmm.
singles performer, also on the mic. Like he gave some of the
Yes.
most impassionate promos I've ever heard this man, give.
That's right.
And keep in mind, like I know a lot of that has to do with the fact that he doesn't have to sell as much merch because he doesn't have that signature catchphrase
Mm-hmm.
before the all the Yeet stuff came around, for
Mm-hmm.
better or for worse, mostly for worse, let's be honest.
Facts.
They didn't do that until after they deviated and they broke away Jay from Roman and Jimmy,
Yes.
at least for
Yes.
a brief period. So, like, yeah, they made a lot of merch sales, obviously, from that. Arguably their biggest merch seller. I don't have the data in front of me,
Mm-hmm.
but he's got to be at least top three, if not number one. I would not be surprised at that. So they're doing wonders for that in terms of how much money they're getting off of the Jey Uso thing. Like critically, everything else about him, his presentation, the lack of true star power, and the what do you
Mhm.
call it? The wrestling ability, the promos, like it's not
Mhm.
there. Like
It's not there.
it just hasn't been here. It has not been there for this guy.
Yeah,
Like I can't even
exactly.
call 2025 his real breakout year, even though it's been like clearly it's been his most eventful and impactful year,
Hmm.
winning a Royal Rumble, opening night one of Mania, beating Gunther, one of very few men who's actually done so clean, much less so tapped him out. And he's went on this run for himself where it's just been like incredibly mediocre. That's like the nicest thing I could say about it. This past year like has not done any wonders for Jey Uso
Right.
whatsoever.
That's a great way to put it. You could be nice about it. I ain't being nice. I'm calling a spade a spade. Let me tell you
You
something right
can,
now. That dude,
that's fine.
that Jey Uso is ass. Okay, booty cheeks. That he is ass because it's like the famous phrase says. It was a heavy the crown heavy word the heavy. I forgot what it was. Heavy the word in terms of a crown.
Heavy is the head that wears the crown.
Heavy is the head that wears the crown. Thank you very much. Appreciate
Yep.
you. That's what Jey Uso couldn't handle, right? Jey Uso couldn't handle it. But that makes my
Now, to be
point.
fair, Ricardo,
Yes.
let's go back a little bit. To be fair
Yeah.
to Jay,
Mm-hmm.
I don't like being fair to this guy because I'm not even the biggest fan of him. Like I probably was the one supporting him the most compared to you guys, you and
Mm-hmm.
Kenny over there.
Oh, that's
Like when he
cool.
won like when he won the Royal Rumble, I think a lot of you guys, especially Kenny, shout out to him, was like completely against it. Like, oh, why they do
So
it?
was I. Cause,
And so
'cause-
were you, exactly. But me, like, I just love the fact, looking back at it, like, and I still, in a way, kind of enjoyed it for what it was, that it was different. It was really something that was completely, like, out there. Like, yeah, you can argue not in the best way because look what transpired in the past year since then. But listen, we all thought Cena was going to win. We all thought Punk was going to win to face Cody, but it ended up being Jay. Listen,
but
and
you
we
have
got a real surprise factor that we haven't really seen from the Rumble in years.
understand that, but what I'm saying is in terms of in relations to war games, if you do it right, like that's why I'm looking at Jey Uso. If there was a man that would turn heel and change the whole synopsis of war games within the match, is Jey Uso because he will be the difference maker of how Punk's team will lose. Because I actually got them losing. I got them losing war games to a point where like you look at war games, excuse me, you look at war games, there's no benefit if Punk's team wins. There's no benefit at all. Right? If they win, they win. It's like, oh, the good guys win, the good guys win again. Two world champions collide, teaming up with the greatest tag team arguably in wrestling history and the tribal chief Roman Reigns. But if they win, there's no moving forward with it.
Yeah.
As
Yeah, I couldn't
exactly.
agree more. Couldn't agree more.
Yeah,
Yeah,
as for the
yeah,
other team, that other team, what you got over there on the other side, that's the future. All those five guys, excluding Brock Lesnar, of course. But like, that's the future right there. They need to win that match, hands down. And I believe they will win that match with Jey Uso turning heel. You make Jey Uso turn heel, changes everything on his head. And I really believe this might happen, right? I can't believe I'm about to say this. I believe John Cena will be in War Games
that's wow.
because
That's an interesting take. Okay, I
that's
did
a
not
stretch.
expect that.
And I feel you. That's a stretch. But here's what I'm saying. Put this in your mind. Jey Uso turns heel, leaves the group. It's 5v4.
Okay, so you're saying mid, like obviously, like you're not saying it's going to be like the match ending angle, right?
Yes, exactly.
That flips the tables against them, the baby faces after Jay
Exactly.
turns.
Yeah.
So you're saying mid match, he's just gonna betray Roman, betray Cody, and everybody else in his team,
Yes.
and
Jey
just
Uso.
walk out mid match.
Yes. Yes.
And they're like, and then it's gonna be a state of like, okay, if is anybody else gonna come out and help?
Yeah.
Like they're
Yeah.
defenseless. They need
Like
somebody else.
yeah. Like I literally thought of two names. Just thought of John Cena is one of them. The other man is Jacob Fatu. Right.
I
That's it.
never
Now
thought of it. I wouldn't have thought of Fatu personally.
I understand Jacob Fatu, and I understand that, right? They say he's currently hurt. I feel you, but it makes sense during terms of the storyline because he got beef with Drew. That's why I brought that up, right? But with John Cena, if you put John Cena in the match, it changes everything. But even if I put John Cena in the match, I still got the other team winning because it's about who needs to win more at the end of the day. And Braun Breaker's team needs that win, right? John Cena just to help, which is cool and fine. Besides, we never saw John Cena in a War Games match, so to neither here nor there. We'll just see what happens, right? Right? Yes.
Here's my stance on that idea. I don't
Yes.
think it particularly works for this one reason. So
Okay.
Jay turns they you do this big shocking angle, right? The match is underway, whatever. Everyone's in
Hmm.
by this point, or up to the point where Jay comes in for his team. He betrays his team, walks out on them. They're defenseless. It's now 5-on-4, all in favor of the heels. They're
Hmm.
dominating, kicking ass, and then what? All of a sudden, John Cena comes out, takes Jay's spot, and then they ultimately still lose. Like I don't see how
The
that
reason
necessarily makes sense just to do that for the sake of okay, Cena, let's throw the fans a bone, let's give the crowd what they want, and Cena
now
comes out, and but
now
he still
here
loses.
now, despite I say that I still want the other team to win. Here's why I'm saying John Cena. Because if the Jey Uso heel turn angle, excuse me, the Jey Uso heel turn angle, here's why I believe it will work. But in terms of doing that, he turns heel. Braun Breaker's team beats up Punk's team, but you don't want to make the match so dominant to where it's boring, right? You need something that will gravitate the fans to bring them back into the match. Because if there's one thing I know that you and I both know within the match is that like where it comes to a point where a significant moment a significant moment that will overshadow the match, and with the other team that's purely dominant heels, like that team is stacked as hell. Will
Yeah.
would just would just purely like jump the other team and overshadow because we don't want to make the match boring. We don't want to make the match be like a foregone conclusion.
Right,
So if you,
but you kind of sorry to cut you off, but
yeah, you're good.
you kind of get rid of that whole issue altogether when you just when it goes back to what I said. Jey Uso let the match unfold. It's like 30
Hmm.
40 minutes in, and then Jey Uso as the match ending angle for the heels to win. He just
Okay,
betrays all of them. Like literally, like there's no
I'll be cool
point to
with
like
that.
who could be the fifth replacement? Like they need help. Like they need the tides to turn in their favor again. The baby faces. So you have Cena
Right.
come out,
Okay.
and you still have them lose, even if Cena doesn't take the fall. It's like it doesn't accomplish much other than a short term crowd pleasing moment. But then the heels still win. It only makes sense to do that. I would argue it only makes sense to do that if the faces win. But you don't
Got
want
you.
that because
Yeah.
you're not like it's like you said. The story just ends right then and there for Cody and Drew and their
Yeah.
program because I don't think it's ending after this. The CM Punk stuff with him fighting off Bronson and Braun Breaker over there because we know Braun Breaker is next in line for that title. He's probably going to beat Punk for that title. Let's
I
say at the
need him.
Rumble.
Need him to win the championship.
I know it's the
Yeah.
logical thing to do moving forward. Like they really cooled off on Braun Breaker just to go
Which
to
is
that point a
crazy
little
to
bit.
me. Which is
Yeah, like
crazy.
it's been almost 2 months since the turn on Seth, their
Yeah.
leader, and
So
it's
like,
like and he was white hot coming out of it.
well, hopefully, like based on the War Games match, the heels will win, and you make Braun Breaker dominate. And
Yeah,
I'm
of
talking about
course.
truly dominate.
And I would go so far he's gonna pick up the winning fall. Is that ends the
Okay,
match?
I'll be cool with that.
Yeah, like that's the only thing that makes sense to me. I mean Bronson you could do too, but I doubt he's the one next in line for a title shot. Bronson Reed.
Make Bronson Reed win the Intercontinental Championship.
Yeah, I would not be against that at all. Bronson is fire. Like he's really good. I would not squander his potential as well. And not to mention he's a lot older than Braun.
Yeah. And you look at the five guys on Braun Breaker's team. Each of them is already set up for success. Each of them. Like I got Logan Paul facing CM Punk at Saturday Night Live main event in December. I got CM Punk facing Braun Breaker. I got Bronson Reed winning the Intercontinental Championship. Obviously, Brock Lesnar will do something at WrestleMania. Only time will tell. Gunther and Drew McIntyre is Drew McIntyre. He'll fit with anybody. You feel me? So only time will tell, and based on what will happen in War Games.
Right.
Now,
I wish I can agree with you on the Drew McIntyre point, but this
no,
dude
oh, bro,
loses. This dude gets squandered so many times, man. It's pathetic. I'm like,
tri-
what is this company doing with this guy? He's a superstar in the making. Like, look at him. Look
he's a
at his body of
superstar
work.
now. He's a superstar right now.
Like,
But
bro, I
like
wish I could agree with you, but the way they've been booking him, the creative has just not been there. Yeah, I know he's
Triple H,
been in the
no,
main
Triple H did him
title
dirty.
picture, but still, it's
Triple
like
H
he
did him
doesn't feel
dirty.
like a superstar. Like he should be a draw for them. He honestly should be.
Yes, yes, and is really sad in terms of what they done to Drew McIntyre. But I might have now. This wasn't on my notes, but you brought up Drew McIntyre, so we're gonna spring it up on you, bro. I want your opinion on something with Drew McIntyre. Drew McIntyre and Logan Paul should win the tag team championships. Now,
I don't
I
know about
feel
that.
you. I feel you. I know.
I don't know
I
about
know.
that.
I know.
I don't think there's a whole lot of how do I say it? Not chemistry. That's not the word I'm looking for. I don't think looking at those two and it makes a whole lot of
Mhm.
sense they team up because McIntyre
No,
seems more like like a lone kind of person. You know what I mean? Like he doesn't make
I
sense as part of like a faction or a tag team.
no. I understand that. But here's what I'm saying. Drew McIntyre and Logan Paul, like we both see it. They got something together that just fits, right? Like it just fits perfectly with them, right? And we've seen it when they teamed up together not that long ago, right?
Right at SummerSlam, yeah, with Orton
Correct.
and Jelly Roll.
Right. And guess what? It wasn't even terrible. That match wasn't even terrible.
No, it wasn't. It
Right.
wasn't. I just thought of
So
it like a one and done. I never thought coming
right.
out of that match like, oh, these guys make sense. They should be the tag team champions.
Because the thing is that with the tag team championships on both brands, it's stale. It's extremely stale to the point where like there's not a lot of intrigue towards from us as fans to look at them and be like, yo, I care about the tag team division, right? They lost it obviously past this past WrestleMania when Triple H gave him the robbery of the century by putting the TLC match on SmackDown instead of putting it at WrestleMania. I will never forgive him for that.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more.
Fuck Triple H on that. Did my guys so dirty. Anyway, if you make Drew McIntyre and Logan Paul, hypothetically, you make them tag team champions, it brings them a lot more intrigue towards the tag team division because it just brings us as fans wanting to see more what the tag team division could bring, but with main event talent like a Drew McIntyre and a Logan Paul in the tag team division. Because like there's nothing wrong with main event talent going down to either a mid card or even a tag team standpoint because it makes the title and it makes the titles and it makes the competition better because you got nothing to lose. Mind you, let's look at Gunther. At the time when he's Intercontinental Champion, I had him as my superstar of the year, hands down. Right? When he could go he went the distance with everybody when he was Intercontinental Champion. If Logan Paul and Drew McIntyre, as a team, in which they have great chemistry together, and they really fucks with each other, right? By beating them as a team, and it could be long term. And here's what I'm saying: they beat every single tag team. A tag team could beat them on SmackDown or whatever other pay per view. And it will lead them to a 1-on-1 match. Drew McIntyre versus Logan Paul. Long term booking.
Okay,
So
so you're saying
you
start
bring
them
them
off as a
together,
tag team, win the tag team titles, and then they
break up,
branch
and
off,
they
and then
face
they
each
do
other.
their own thing. Yes, and then
And
they face
they
each
face
other.
each other.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, that's not the worst. Listen, I've heard. Listen, that's not one of the worst ideas I've ever heard. I think, especially if WWE has no real long-term creative or plans in mind for either of them, especially for Drew, I would not be against that at all.
Right.
And honestly, that's better than the alternative. And I know I'm going to be catching a lot of flack from you and Kenny when I say I'd rather see that than see Logan Paul with the world title, for example.
Right.
But that's just me.
Yeah,
Like a
and
lot
that's fine.
like he's not full time enough for me to say like, yeah, okay, I want to put my top title on this guy. Even though even though I'm a big fan of Logan's work, like this guy has taken to wrestling so quickly, it's not even funny. Within his
Right.
first year, within like his first 2-3 matches with like guys like The Miz and that title match with Roman at Crown Jewel, I
Mhm.
was really impressed. I was like, wow, this dude belongs. I was like,
Yeah.
this guy can talk. He has a presence. He has charisma. Gets a reaction.
Yeah.
He's hateable, and
Very hateable. And he
and he just happens
embraces
to be
it.
a great in the ring. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. He embraces it. And that's what I'm saying. Because of that heel heat with Logan Paul and the presence of Drew McIntyre in the tag team division. Come on, son. You can't tell me that's not fire.
Yeah, I mean, listen, it's an idea. The way you kept bringing it up and the way you keep explaining it, like it's. I'm kind of warming up to the idea. I'm not
Yeah,
completely
it's
against it.
not even a bad idea. So
No, it's
it's
not.
very it's gonna be very interesting to see because with War Games you could do a lot of things with this match.
The question is, yeah, that's easy to say. The question is, will WWE even bother doing anything with it?
Oh, I feel you on
Because you know
that.
how it is. It's like
I can't even knock you
it
on about
feels like a
that.
one and done. Oh, it's that time of the year. Let's just pluck all of our top stars, including both our world champions, mind you, in the same War Games match. It's like, what are we doing? Like, what are we doing? Unless we're right and that's the idea is to build off of more storylines and intrigue coming out of it, like Braun Breaker pinning CM Punk in the match tomorrow
Hmm.
night, which I definitely see happening. As a matter of fact, for Braun to make a case on Raw the following Monday, hey, well, I deserve the next crack at the world title.
Right.
It could be as easy as that. That's how they get into it. The next feud.
Yes. Yeah. So it's gonna be really interesting based on how War Games will set up. I just hope it. I know it's gonna be a good night for Survivor Series, and like I saw the setup on WWE's YouTube page. It looks fantastic, right? But like Only time will tell. Now, John Cena. Dear Lord have mercy. The GOAT.
Wait. So before we get into that, do you think we should get into like the women's, the maybe the women's side of
Oh,
things, like a
yes,
little,
yes,
just
yes, yes,
briefly,
yes.
like just let's go through the
Absolutely,
rest of the
yes.
card.
Yes, you're absolutely right. Yes. We'll keep it short. The
Yeah.
women's War Games match. Now, that is interesting because you got on one team, uh, obviously you got Rhea, Charlotte, Bliss, what's her name? AJ Lee, Io. You got the other team, Last Legend. Congratulations, by the way, on your engagement. God bless. Welcome to the engagement club. You got Last Legend, Nia Jax, the Kabuki Warriors, and Asuka and Kyrie, and you got Becky Lynch. Now, for the women, it's pretty interesting because it could go either way based on how you go for it. But this one is a little bit more tricky than the men's because you got to do it carefully, right? Because with the women, despite we know that they're all great in their own right, it's hit or miss based on what's happening in War Games. Like you literally just brought in Last Legend earlier this month, and she's in War Games. You see
Yeah,
what I'm saying?
it's big
It's
shoes for her to fill for sure.
yeah, exactly,
But
exactly.
it's with how relatively formulaic these matches have been, like the main roster version of War Games. I'm not really worried. I'm not really too worried about it for her. Like I think she's really improved herself, like especially in the last 2 years
Oh yeah.
as a performer. So I don't think she's gonna like really fumble it up. I think she'll do just fine.
No, no, I'm
But the
not saying
thing,
she's gonna fumble. I just want to see what she could do. That's it.
no, of course. Yeah. So, but my issue really isn't with her. It's more so her partner, Nia Jax. I don't know if you recall, but last year's women's War Games match left a lot to be desired
Uh,
in terms of a match because Nia was as good as as improved as she has been in her own right, especially last year. Like, good God, she was probably the worst thing about that entire match. Oh my goodness! Like,
it's
I'm getting PTSD just thinking about, oh my God, she's in this match again this year. Like, is she gonna top or equal what we got last year in terms of how
I
her
mean,
garbage her
technically, if
performance was?
if you really look at it, Io's been in the last three War Games match, and she was the highlight of the whole match.
But I feel like Rhea has been also like a lot of in almost all of these women's war games so far.
Yeah, but Io is more of Io because like she brings the hardcore factor
Oh yeah,
in,
that's true.
in the War Games in which it's needed. Similar to the guys, you got to bring a main event feel to this, and I know that they're going to be the first match because it's War Games, obviously, because that takes the majority of the night.
Yeah, right. Yeah,
You got to make this one work, and because like I said, the women's not the division, but I'm talking about the stories is to some degree not entirely looking kind of bleak because you got what's her name? You got AJ Lee and Becky Lynch, which is very slim because they only had the tag team match and they never fought each other one on one, in which which is the payoff and the
never mind that AJ Lee hasn't been referenced or even seen or heard from since until the MSG show on Raw last week. Like before,
right.
like I'm saying from WrestlePalooza, that tag match up until recently, like 2 months, like persona non grata in this company. Like, what are we doing?
Yeah, exactly. So there's not really a lot of level of consistency for us fans to care about AJ Lee versus Becky. Another thing is Charlotte and Alexa Bliss against what's it called Nia Jackson Last Legend. There's not really a lot to go here because yes, you lost the tag titles to Asuka and Kairi Sane. You lost it to them, but what's the payoff here? Like, you see what I'm saying? Like,
Well, my payoff. Well, let me stop you right there, Ricardo.
yeah,
My how I look at it is it's a payoff in the sense that it kind of frees up Charlotte and Alexa to be suitable challengers for Jade Cargill and her women's title on SmackDown. Like instead of them holding the tag team titles, they can now go for the women's title. They can have Charlotte and Jade or Alexa and Jade go at it like in either the next Saturday night's main events, a
mm-hmm.
special episode of SmackDown, the Royal Rumble, like just to keep things like interesting, relatively
Mm-hmm.
speaking, for Jade in terms of like fresh opponents for her. Because we haven't seen Charlotte and Jade yet, and I
Right.
know that's a big match WWE wants to do eventually.
Yeah, I actually got them. I do agree with you on that with Jade versus Charlotte. I got them facing each other at the Royal Rumble, right? I got them facing each other at the Rumble. I do agree with you about Bliss versus Jade at main event. I completely agree with you about that. Or maybe Elimination Chamber, one of those, maybe one of those two, right? But in terms of that, I just really hope that the women's War Games deliver. That's all I care about. If they could deliver, because the first match starts off the whole show, and the fact that if the first match doesn't deliver, the whole show is doomed, arguably, right? So they gotta bring it.
I'm not worried about it. I think personally, well, no, like it's 50-50 for me because it really just depends on how they format and lay out these particular matches. Because good God, it could be a struggle to sit through from start to finish,
Yes.
men's or women's, regardless of the talents. Like everyone, I'm generally a fan of in this women's match and the men's
Hmm.
war games matches, respectfully or respectively, I should say. But like, if the match is laid out in a way that's just not very exciting, or for me to get really invested in, like, what's the point?
Right.
So that's what it
But
really
like
comes down to for me.
facts. So I can't knock you for that. Now, what's the next match? Dominic and John Cena. Now that's gonna be dope because now that's gonna be that's you know what's crazy? That's actually the one match I'm looking forward to the most, more than any match in the card.
No, I
Because
get
with
it. I get it.
Dominic Mysterio, the best heel in WWE right now, right? We both know he's winning the Intercontinental Championship. It's only right to give it right back to him. But I got this match is going to be the greatest match in his whole career.
We'll see. Oh, this Cena match he's gonna do
This
tomorrow
one
night.
right here,
Okay.
Dominic Mysterio is going to have the greatest match in his whole career against John Cena. Because John Cena is going to, it reminds me, this match reminds me with Logan Paul and John Cena. For years, people has been knocking Logan Paul to see on why he's in the WWE, to see if he could belong in the WWE. And he went toe-to-toe with John Cena. When Logan Paul went toe-to-toe with John Cena, I went on my TikTok, I was like, yo, I don't care what anybody says. Logan Paul deserves to be in the WWE. He was born to be in the WWE, right? Validated his worth against John Cena, arguably the greatest of all time, toe-to-toe with him on a full-length match over 25 minutes. And that's a lesser version of Cena. So think
Hmm.
about that for a second. With a lesser version of Cena, imagine that was Cena in his prime with Logan Paul. Bro, that's box office. So Logan proved that he belonged. But with Dominic Mysterio and John Cena, to me, this is the most important match in Dominic Mysterio's whole career, is because it will validate to see if he's main event level. If you could go toe to toe with John Cena for the Intercontinental Championship and win, no help, no Judgment Day, nothing, just you. Straight up, 1v1. This has to be the most significant win he has to earn. And if he does that against John Cena and wins the Intercontinental Championship, this dude is going to be Dominic Mysterio will be a world champion in 2026. Hands down.
Yeah, I could see
You
that.
you
I
put
could
the
see that.
rocket ship and you blow his ass up. Pause. And it goes straight to the fucking moon. That's exactly what you do for Dominic Mysterio. He beats John Cena in a fantastic match, and he wins. He will win a world championship in 2026.
Yeah, I agree with your prediction on the overall prediction on the match itself, on Dominic, beating Cena, whether it's going to be through interference from the Judgment Day. I don't think it's going to be clean, like one,
Nah,
two, three in the middle of the ring. Because listen, I don't know if they see Dominic that way, if they'll really strap the rocket all the way with him, at least on Survivor Series. But he
I believe.
will I agree. He will win the title back from Cena. He will get that title back. He will resume his title run. In terms of other opponents for him, they did allude to a continuation of his feud with his father and Rey Mysterio. So I could see that happening. Maybe they do it again at WrestleMania. Who knows? This time for
Man,
the
man,
IC
oh
title.
heavens no. They better not do that shit at WrestleMania. Heavens no. That'll be the best bathroom break I've ever taken in my life. I do not want to see Rey Mysterio and his son Dominic ever again in a one-on-one match at WrestleMania. I don't want that to happen. But with Dominic Mysterio, he wins against John Cena, and I'm putting money on that match. He wins that match against John Cena. I'm telling you, man, it's gonna be fantastic. It will be fantastic when he wins the Intercontinental Championship back. And what I would do is I would make and going back to what you said about the Judgment Day, if I'm Dominic Mysterio, I am telling the Judgment Day, do not interfere in this match. Not even a little bit. Because it's about being a man, bro. Like, it's about being a man. Straight up. If you want to recognize your box office attraction, because he's box office straight up, but if you want to be a main eventer, if you want to be one of those top superstars in the WWE, and I'm talking about the people that come to WWE to see you gotta go one-on-one with John Cena straight up and beat him. That's how you make it to the main event field. You face against arguably the greatest wrestler of all time in John Cena, and you beat him legitimately, no help. He does that. Like I said, you plug the rocket ship through his ass and bring that shit to the fucking moon. That dude will be one of the contenders to win the Royal Rumble next year, right? I'm saying that as my dark horse. Dominic Mysterio will win the Intercontinental Championship against Shawn Cena in a straight up match. That will be his most significant win in his entire career. Book it. And if people don't like it, go argue with your mama. It's all good.
Okay. Okay, so we're both in agreement there. Like Dominic's 2026 will be his biggest year yet. And
Absolutely. I
yeah,
believe it. I believe it.
it'll really start with Survivor Series, man, with this event. He beats Cena. Even if it's cleaner otherwise, it's not going to be clean, let's be honest. But Judgment Day is going to interfere. He's going to go get the title back and he'll do what he does best, you know.
Right. Now speak with John Cena. I know I really wanted to get into this debate, but I know if Kenny can't make it, it's all good. But I got you, my boy. Like I got you, my man.
Yeah, we're enough. We're enough.
Yeah, we're enough. Now, John Cena himself, the dude is gonna retire in a month. That shit is crazy, bro.
Yeah,
He
that's
retires.
insane.
He's gonna
Less than a
retire.
month.
No, actually, I'm bugging. He's 3 weeks.
3
In
weeks.
3
That's
weeks,
right,
it's
yeah.
over.
Oh my god. Wow.
It's gonna be insane. So John Cena is gonna retire in December 13th, obviously at Saturday Night Live main event. And we really, realistically, we gotta call a spade a spade. People say he's the greatest of all time. And people who say that, I will not knock you for that. However, he is not the greatest of all time.
No.
He
you
is
had to
not
say
the
it.
great. He is not the greatest of all time. Check this
What?
out.
How are you not on
No,
our side,
no,
bro?
I'm about to say this. What? Check this out, right? So,
I'm open to hearing what you have to say.
okay,
Go
so
ahead.
like this out. So when we talk about top 10, right? When it comes to the top 10, and obviously being number one, we are strictly basing off the top 10 lists based off these factors: drawing power, longevity, influence, big matches, promos, championships, and overall legacy. Okay? Now, put this in order. Okay? Every person I'm about to say fits in this description. I'm gonna go from 10 to 1.
Okay, this will be interesting. So
Number 10 is Kurt Angle. In my opinion, one of the greatest natural wrestlers ever. The greatest technical wrestler, in my personal opinion, of all time. I gotta put Kurt Angle in there. Number 9. Now, I was biased. Originally, back then, I said I put this man on my top 5 because I personally believe he's in that list. But looking at it organically, systemically, he's not on that list. Number 9 is Roman Reigns. Number 9 is Roman Reigns because he's the single greatest long-term champion in the modern era. And he's one of the few men that has a case to surpass Cena as the GOAT based off what he's done recently on his 4-year run as the Tribal Chief. Right? Number 8 is Triple H. Self-explanatory. In my opinion, the greatest storyteller in all of WWE. Right? Number 7. This is gonna be crazy. Number 7 is Shawn Michaels. Right? Shawn Michaels is the greatest in-ring performer for everybody. And I feel you. Right?
Jeez,
But in
not
terms
even
of
top 5 for HBK. That's
nope,
crazy.
he's not. Don't get me started with Shawn Michaels. But Shawn Michaels is the greatest in-ring performer. Now this is what people's gonna get tired of me. Tell me about this.
This is gonna be bad.
Number 6 is The Undertaker.
Wow. No way.
Number 6,
bro.
Number
Shawn.
6.
Taker's not even top 5.
Number 6. Hear me out. Number 6 is The Undertaker.
Wait. So let's backtrack. Is this
Yes.
list wrestling history or WWE history?
No. This is like I said, draw power, longevity, influence, big matches, promos, mainstream championships, overall legacy. I put it in that criteria.
I got the criteria.
Yes.
Is it within WWE or just pro wrestling period? Like
No,
all
WWE.
companies.
WWE.
Okay, got it.
Hands down, WWE. Right? Now, people, I understand that Undertaker is not. I said that Undertaker is not top 5. Yeah, I understand if people, the Undertaker puts him at top 3. I completely get it. He is the longevity. WrestleMania's great. The WrestleMania streak is his greatest legacy, hands down. But the Undertaker is not a peak draw like Austin Rock Cena. He's not. Okay? Compared to those guys, he's not the type. Undertaker is not the type of guy you pay your tickets to go see him. He's the type of guy that gives you aura, more of the presence atmosphere. That's why I got the Undertaker at number 6. Okay?
Interesting. Okay.
Right? Now, top 5. Top 5, I got Randy Orton. I got Randy Orton above Taker and Shawn. Hey, look, I'll tell you why. I'll tell you why. Randy Orton is the greatest heel of all time. Okay, he's the greatest heel of all time. His ring IQ is stupidly great. His Orton's IQ is so great. You put Randy Orton in the ring with anybody, they look like $1,000,000. And I'm talking about anybody, right? Better than Shawn in the ring, hands down. I don't care what anybody says, right?
That's a crazy take, but okay.
It's a crazy take. It is, and I don't care what anybody says because I'm brought the smoke. I don't give a damn what anybody says, right?
No, I
So
see that. Yeah,
I
you're
got
not letting anything go.
I got Randy Orton number 5.
All right, who's the rest of your list? Let's hear it.
Number 4 is John Cena.
Okay, you got John Cena, and you're number 4. Okay, I respect that number. It's a good
John
number for
Cena is
him.
number
Yeah.
4. John Cena is number 4. Number 3 is the because obviously John Cena is self-explanatory. You already know what he did. This, whatever.
Yeah,
Number
yeah.
3, despite I don't like him as a person, despite straight up racist, I gotta put Hulk Hogan. I got to.
If it's an object, let's be honest, man. Let's just cover something right now. If it's an
Yeah.
object, you can't have an objective list.
Yeah.
Forget your bias side of the way. You can't have an
Yeah. No,
objective list
exactly.
of the goats in wrestling in
See,
WWE and not have
yeah.
Hogan on there.
I gotta put a Hogan in
Like
there.
you doesn't matter how what he's done as a
Yup.
person. Yeah, he's a piece of crap. But at the end of the day, we're not basing them off of genuinely how great of a human being they are. That's not what this
Exactly.
list is
I
for. We're
gotta
talking
put
about the goats,
yeah.
everything in
Because
wrestling. That's it.
he was the first mainstream box office attraction WWE's ever had. He was the one that put WWE on the map. Despite I don't like him as a person, people, you gotta call a spade a spade. Without Hulk Hogan, there is no WWE. Okay? Straight up. Now, he's number 3. Number 2 is The Rock. The Rock changed the game for WWE outside of WWE. The Rock, to me, is the first superstar that gave wrestlers of his era and and obviously this current era and the future a platform to do things outside of WWE once you're done. He basically what The Rock done for the future stars of WWE is that like wrestling doesn't really need to be your end goal. There's other activities that you could do to upgrade your worth as a performer outside of WWE. And look what The Rock is right now. He's in the top 10 highest paid actors in the world. Because of what he did in WWE and upgraded to the acting world, in which you see Batista's doing it, John Cena's doing it, Becky Lynch is training to do it, Roman Reigns, Cody Rhodes to some degree. You got other stars that he actually placed a platform for to jump ship after once your WWE career is over. So I gotta give The Rock that as the second biggest draw, but not only by doing that, his impact of what he did for the WWE. But you already know who's my number 1, my boy. You already know who's my number 1. Stone Cold Steve Austin. Hands down. What John Cena, despite John Cena is the greatest world champion of all time. Despite John Cena is one of the greatest leaders of all time. He is not the leader that Austin was because Austin was the one that saved the company from going bankrupt. John Cena was there in WWE when WWE was at its peak. He was never there when WWE was at its worst.
Financially, yeah.
Exactly.
Financially, yeah. At their peak, absolutely.
John Cena was never there in the WWE when WWE was at its worst. Austin is the biggest draw in wrestling history. Wrestling history. Not just WWE. You go to any wrestling event, you say Stone Cold Steve Austin, niggas are coming, people are going to pay their fucking life savings to see Austin.
Yeah, it's him or Hogan, like honestly.
Oh, no, it's Austin.
They were the cat.
It's Austin.
No, hold on. You can make a case for Hogan too, because you keep in mind, like just like Austin was the catalyst for the Attitude Era, Hogan also ushered in the what is it called, the Golden Age in the 80s. Like that's what made WWF at the time, like, and Vince McMahon usher in, like, expands to like new heights they've never reached before, because they were all territories back then, right? It was all northeast territory for WWF. They were able to swallow up other companies because of names like Hogan and, to a lesser extent, Savage and all these other people. But Hogan was the number 1 guy that Vince brought in to make that all happen to begin with. I wouldn't don't like Austin. If it's not 1, it's 2 for either of them, honestly. So you can make a case for both.
I understand. You are right in terms of Hogan, of making a case for Hogan. It is undisputed that is Stone Cold Steve Austin as number 1. Because, like I said, Austin saved the WWE when WWE was at its worst. Hogan left the WWE. Let's go. My man is
Oh,
here.
look who's
Yes,
here.
my man
Look who's
is
here.
here, bro. So
Ooh.
guess what?
Welcome
Guess
on
what?
in, King.
I am bringing the smoke, bro. So I'm just gonna say, so just like I told Abba, I'm telling you, right? So my case is, I said that John Cena is not the greatest of all time, okay? In our top
Okay.
10,
Okay.
right? So just to clarify, I told Abba, I'm telling you, the top 10, I'm strictly basing it based off this: drawing power, longevity,
Okay.
excuse me, influence, big match resume, promos, mainstream, championships, overall legacy. We got that. Okay?
Okay. I'm following so far. Good.
Okay. I'm gonna say 10, just like I told Abba, I'm telling you. Number 10 is Kurt Angle, right? Number 9, Roman Reigns. Number 8, Triple H. Number 7, Shawn Michaels. Number 6, this is the big one. Number 6 is The Undertaker. Number 5 is Randy Orton. I got John Cena at number 4. Okay?
Okay.
Yes, I said
Okay.
it. I got John Cena number 4. Number 3.
I was just, dude. This is why I wanted Kenny on this show, man. Just
I
for that.
no,
Just for
bro.
that.
You
Just for that
came in at
take.
the right time, bro. Number 3,
Oh my
I got
God.
Hulk Hogan. Right, I got Hulk Hogan.
Okay.
Number 2, I got The Rock. Number 1, I got Stone Cold Steve Austin. Okay, now for John Cena, I said this. Yes, he carried WWE for 12 years when WWE was at its best. Straight up. So when he did that, he did his thing, carried the company to great heights, and uplift a boatload of superstars. Absolutely. But the difference is what Austin did compared to what Cena did. Stone Cold was in the WWE when WWE was at its worst, right? We've never seen a scenario where John Cena was in a scenario with the WWE when WWE was at its worst, and with Austin bringing the peak to when WWE was there. He was the biggest draw in wrestling history, right? So when he saved the company when it mattered. So when Austin was there in WWE, he lifted the WWE to a point where he saved the entire company. Now, I'm not saying Cena never did his thing. He did his thing, hands down, no question about it. I'm not taking anything away from John Cena, right? But when you look at it for a point where, was John Cena there when WWE needed him most compared to Austin? Answer is no. But that's what I got to say. But that's what I got
I
to say.
see. See. Okay. Okay. But I'm not sure where your where the point lies. But would you like to go over yours before then I take over or
Sure. So, just to recap what I said before you came on, I didn't get too much into my thoughts before you came in, to be fair, but just to give briefly what I did get out to Ricardo
Mm-hmm.
here, I agreed with all I really got into was that the Hogan Austin debate, because it was like, okay,
Mm-hmm.
who is more impactful to the wrestling industry as a whole? Now,
okay?
if you grew up, now I'm going to get this out of the way and preface my comments by saying, if you grew up a certain time period and you like indulged in one superstar over the other, then obviously you're gonna be a little bit more biased as
Yeah.
to like, okay, I grew up in the Attitude Era. Austin is the guy for me. Completely fine. You like Austin is as good as anybody and as big of a star in wrestling as you can name. But then you have someone like Hulk Hogan, who honestly, without Hogan being there at the helm with Vince McMahon, there would be no WWF as you know it. There would be no WrestleMania. There would be no a global expansion and takeover in the national and international sense that WWF would be a part of. Like they would still, like for all we know, they could have fizzled out and just never went beyond that. The point of just being in a territory in the New York tri-state area, if you will, in the 80s. So if Hogan wasn't at the helm, like for Vince to take advantage of and take off financially, there would be none of this to begin with. So you can really pick. It's really a case, but Austin obviously like he saved them from like financial bankruptcy to begin with in the 90s, like when they were going to go under. Like at one point, I think they did file for bankruptcy
Okay.
in like 95, 96, before Austin became the superstar that we know him for.
Right.
So if you don't have that it's really just take your pick at that point.
Okay.
And obviously favoritism is going to go into it. And obviously what you think of, both of them as individuals outside of wrestling, because both of them aren't saints, especially Hogan. But that being said, like, really take your pick on that. But like it's really just it's like 1A 1B to me, at least
Okay.
in terms of importance in the wrestling business.
Okay. Okay. All right. So I think I'm more inclined to lean towards you, Abba, just because of the sheer magnitude of some of the guys that you listed, Ricardo. I can't knock your list. However, I do feel as if okay, so here's where I stand. And I think you guys are going to agree with me on this. You can't put Stone Cold Steve Austin over Cena. Like, if you're going to list your top five, so to say,
Mm-hmm.
you cannot put Stone Cold Steve Austin over a guy like Cena. If we're talking about just like overall impact to the business, right? You got to put Hulk there, right? Like, Hulk is his resume is probably unmatched, right? If you're talking about, man, there will be no wrestling without Hulk Hogan, you'd probably be right.
Mm-hmm.
So for that alone, I agree there. Like, if you say Hulk Hogan is number one, I'm not gonna knock the list, right?
Mm-hmm.
However, my issue with your list, Ricardo, is that Stone Cold Steve Austin during the 90s was very impactful, incredibly impactful. And I'm not saying that he didn't get them out of obscurity, but let's not act like it was all a Stone Cold train or a Stone Cold show.
Of course not. Of course not.
They had some heavy hitters there, okay,
Yes.
so the crew that they had, like, and let's not forget, before the Austin 316 thing happened, right? They were on a roll for quite a while. Austin put them over the top. So
Yes.
we're not going to sit here and act like, Austin did it all by himself, right?
Of
Like,
course not.
and I know that's probably
No.
not what you're saying, but it damn sure sounded like it, right? And this notion that there can be absolutely no one, right, to unseat you as the GOAT because you did something 40 years ago that is brought the company to where it is today, or people like to call it paved the way. The fact that there can be no one to challenge your status as the GOAT is stupid to me. It would literally be acknowledging that wrestling hasn't moved the needle, or there have been no one that has been better than The Rock. I think Cena is a better talker than The Rock. I think Cena is a better talker than Stone Cold Steve Austin. Now, a lot of people can say, "Oh no, it's not true." Blah 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 blah. Word for word, bar for bar,
Bar
Cena
for
will
bar.
cook him.
You get no disagreements with me there.
Okay, so you want to talk overall impact? You want to talk pay-per-view buys? You want to talk peak? Cena had a
Hmm.
bigger peak than Austin. He had a higher peak than Austin. Austin had, like, you caught a lightning in a bottle with Austin,
Mm-hmm.
right? But Cena did it at a high level, but a higher level for a lot longer, a hell of a lot longer than Austin did. Okay. And then
Okay.
when it was time to pave the way and give back to the company, you know what Austin did? He took his ball and ran home. So
You
Did
had
he?
to say that.
yeah, yeah. When it was when they wanted Austin to come through and pave the way for the big guy, for the next guys to go over, what did he
You talking
do?
about the next? You talking about the next generation?
Yeah. What did
Yeah.
he
Okay.
do?
Yes.
Okay.
He
Okay.
took his ball and went home. Okay? You ain't getting that from Cena.
Well, Cena's a team player, like through and through. Like he's probably the most agreeable, big time performer they've ever had. Vince and this company has ever had, ever. Like he was the
Yep.
one that was never going to disagree. He was a good little
Yep.
soldier the whole time they had him.
Yep. So I get the Hogan thing, right? Like, I
Mm-hmm.
get it. I understand it. But even him was never on, like, he was, no one had a longer run on top than Cena. No one had a longer run.
Hmm.
You can tell me, oh yeah, let me ask you guys a question. Do you really think, if you put Cena, '05 Cena, '07 Cena, if you put Cena in that realm, like in the Attitude Era, y'all
Mm-hmm.
think for 1 second a white boy that went platinum that can rap, you think he will go over? You think he will get over? You have never seen anything like that motherfucker in wrestling. You got to understand something. Cena does not exist. There will never be another Cena. You can try to make a Rock. You can try to make a Stone Cold Steve Austin to some degree. I'm not saying you're gonna get the same thing, but you can
Mm-hmm.
try.
Yeah.
You can
Yeah.
try to imitate him. You can try to imitate Hulk Hogan. You could try. You could try to imitate those guys because it's not
It's not hard. It's not hard.
right. It's
It's
not
not
very
hard.
difficult to do that. But try to imitate Cena. Try to imitate Doctor of Thugonomics. Try. Let's see how far you get.
Well, you're saying to the same level of success, right?
Not even to the same level. It doesn't have to be. Try, try.
Yeah.
The
Obviously you're gonna end
the
up miserably.
Exactly. And see, you can, and what I'm saying, Abba, right, to close this out, is you can try to imitate Rock, Austin, Hogan, right? And have maybe a 15 to 20% success rate, right? It's still very low, but you can have some sort of success, right? But you can't imitate anything Cena did. You can't go fucking platinum. I'm sorry, you can't. You cannot. You cannot. The magnitude, the sheer magnitude of what he did, and I don't think he gets enough credit for it. What he did as a wrestler, what he did as a rapper, what he did as a
He changed the
pop
game.
culture icon,
He changed the
you will
game.
never
Yeah,
see
he
that
did.
again.
He did.
You will never, ever see that again. There will be no one coming up the ranks trying to act like John Cena. It will never happen again.
Okay.
So I need y'all, when you go over your top five list, right? First of all, number four is egregious. Stone Cold, we done with the 90s, bro.
That's crazy, man.
We done with the 90s. We done with the 90s.
I know.
Okay? No disrespect to Stone Cold, but we done with the 90s, bro. We done with the 90s. That
So
peak
where
that
you got
Cena had,
Austin?
he never reached. I got Austin in my top three, but I don't have
Okay.
him top two. I got C. So,
I'll take three.
and my thing is this: if you're gonna put Hulk Hogan number one, I cannot argue with that. I won't, right?
Hmm.
But even Hogan, as larger than life of an icon as he was, you put any all-American babyface in that situation, fans will eat
His
it
inner
up. And you got to realize,
his,
like
his,
the time
mhm.
that Hogan came up in, it's very, very important that the pro-American, uh, pro-American troop, pro-American war, like if you're pro-America in any way, shape, or form, especially in wrestling, you went over. And coupled with the fact that he was blonde, he looked like a freaking Greek god, So, and I'm not trying to hate on Hogan here. I'm simply saying you can replicate that. Like you can replicate that. Like if someone that looked like Hogan, right, that had more hair, that looked a little better, right?
Yeah. They actually
If they
tried to
went
do
into
that back
wrestling
then.
at that point, if they went into wrestling at that point, you could sort of kind of catch lightning in a bottle. Like anyone that could have lifted up Andre the Giant, right, and slammed him down, like because you got to like I remember watching the documentary, the Andre the Giant
Hmm.
documentary, I
Hmm.
think it was, or maybe it was a Hulk Hogan documentary, and they were
Hmm.
talking about guys to put in that spot, right? And the reason Hulk was put in that spot was because they thought that he had the look. They thought that he had the it factor, right? But let's not act like there wasn't any other people that were capable in that era that could have been put in that spot that could have done what Hulk Hogan did. Because remember,
Yeah. Mhm.
Andre was in an undefeated streak at that time,
Hmm.
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
they wanted somebody to beat him, and they knew for a fact the person that could beat him, right, was going to be the guy, right, to carry the torch through the next era, right? So let's say Hulk Hogan wasn't in there. Let's say it was Bob Backlund or something. I think Bob would have gotten over just as much as Hogan, and I think we would have been talking about Bob Backlund as the guy.
Well,
Um.
to be fair, before you continue with your point, Kenny, they could have. You're right to a point that they could have easily slotted anyone in that spot, but at the same time, like it kind of is a moot point because they already positioned Hogan as the number one guy, like for like going back to before WrestleMania one when
Yeah,
they gifted him the WF title in '84. That was like 3 years before. Like obviously that match was iconic in its own right and is a classic, even though like the less said about the actual match itself and the quality of it, the better. But as an iconic moment, even though Hogan has slammed Andre and so many other times, like so many other competitors have done the same to Andre, like way before that Mania match, but that's neither here nor there. People will remember the body slam for what it was, not the match itself or anything else surrounding it. But Hogan himself was a huge megastar, like for years before leading into that match. It's not
yeah,
but that was just another iconic moment, obviously, that people remember Hogan and Andre for, like ever since then.
yeah. No, I absolutely. I'm like I said, I don't want to take it away
Right.
from Hogan,
You
right?
don't want to, yeah, I get it.
Right.
I get it.
But I'm just simply saying, Hogan, the man ain't special. He ain't nothing special. Like we're not sitting here talking, oh my God, Hogan is one of the greatest talkers ever. Oh my God, Hogan is one of the greatest in-ring performers ever. Said nobody. Like said no one. Like no
No.
one's ever. I've never heard
I think
anyone say any of
if you
that
mean
before.
well, let me stop you right there. If you mean promos in the same way that, John Cena can like battle promo against somebody one on one, then like listen, I'm never gonna disagree with you on that. Cena's as good as they come. That being
Well,
said, like
mhm.
Hogan knew like he was probably one of the best promos in terms of just hyping himself up. Like you get what I'm saying? Like
Yeah,
hyping
yeah,
yourself as a competitor. Like he
yeah,
was second to none in that
yeah.
regard. Same with
Kind of
guys
like
like,
Rick Flair too, as well.
exactly. With Randy Savage, Dusty Rhodes, like a lot of those people, The Rock even, like they knew how to hype themselves up and put themselves over and to the
Yeah,
moon, like with the crowd. Like they were charismatic promo guys. Like I would put them in that regard. So that's what makes them like all-time promos in that way. But the battle
Yeah,
promo stuff, like one-on-one with others, like yeah,
right.
I agree with you there.
Yeah, I mean,
yeah,
listen, just to close this out, man. Before you get in for the last take, Ricardo, I'm very big on if you like if your act can be replicated. Someone like the Undertaker, you can't do that shit.
yeah.
You
No,
can't do that shit. No one,
Can't.
that
like
can't
no
You
be
just
one,
can't.
replicated.
and
No.
and
I
that's why
agree.
he's one of the greatest of all time. Like he's in my top five. I don't know what the hell Solomon was talking about when he said
I didn't see that
you
video. What do
know
you say?
he doesn't even have Taker in his top five. Listen, he lost me at Randy Savage. Listen,
He put
So
Randy Savage in
yeah,
the
so
top
here,
10?
so wait. No, 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 no. So hold on, Ricardo. So I've seen it a few times. So he said, from what I remember, he said his top five in no particular order, but this is his top five. He had Austin on there. He had Hogan on there. He had Randy Savage. He had Bret Hart and Shawn Michaels. That's who he had
You
as his
got
top five.
you got Randy Savage in the top 5? What?
Listen, I think it just has a lot to do with like what you grew up
I
on.
think
I
it's
think that
preference,
plays a big
yeah.
role.
But look,
Okay.
I'm very big. I'm very, very big on what can be replicated and what cannot, right? And I'm not saying that you can easily replicate any one of those guys that we just mentioned, right? However, there's something to be said for your ability to step foot in the ring, go toe to toe with anyone, put on great
Mm-hmm.
matches time and time again. Like, God honest, truthfully, I've
Mm-hmm.
watched some Hulk Hogan matches. Cena's got way more better matches than Hulk Hogan. Way more,
Yeah,
way
it's not
more.
it's not it's not
Hands
even a
down. Yeah.
contest. Not
Okay,
a
it's not
Yeah.
even a
contest.
contest.
But
And
Yes.
people
I'll
don't,
put
yeah, go ahead.
put Cena's matches up against anyone you got in your top five. Against anybody you got in your top five.
Mm-hmm.
He's got the matches to prove it. He's got the
Yes.
championships to prove it. He's got the
Yep.
peak to prove it, right?
Promos,
And
strong
and he's
power.
got the promos to prove it, right?
Yeah.
And on top of
Longevity
that,
too,
right, and longevity too. So what the hell are
especially
we
longevity.
talk? What the hell are we talking about here, man? Like anybody that you can say, oh, well, Stone Cold's got this over. Put him up against Cena. Let's see. Let's see how that goes. Let's see how that goes. Put Stone Cold's promos against Cena's promos. You can't definitively say Stone Cold is better than his. You can say, oh my God, they are very, very close. Like they're very, very
Well,
comparable.
well, now that you mentioned it, honestly, Kenny, that now that you bring it up, I think it's you can also put Austin in that league in terms of like charismatic promo
Yup.
guys. Like honestly, he's probably
Absolutely.
the best one. Him,
Absolutely.
him,
Absolutely.
him, and Hogan and Rock all neck and neck, honestly. But more so, but not to say he's not a good like battle promo guy with somebody else. Like he has it down also, but like Cena's a monster in that
Well, well,
regard.
what,
Also,
what,
You
what,
know,
what,
he
what, what
really
the,
is.
what, the thing is with me, because like Kenny's very big on folks that could replicate other characters based on the WWE. For me, it's mic work. I care. I take that shit really seriously. For me, I've been an Austin advocate in terms of on the mic. Like he's been my number one, right? All time. If we're talking about straight up promos, bro, I don't think anybody could touch Cena. And I'm saying that as an
yeah,
Austin fan,
yeah.
right? I was like the way I've been watching Attitude Era since I was 3 years old. Since like on, I can't remember one Austin promo that's on par with John Cena's promo. And I'm talking about anybody. I was
And
like,
you know
I can't
what's
find. It was sorry to I'll just finish this point. I got you, bro. Like it's like saying like I'll just give you an example. As much as Austin and Rock's promos together were great, it doesn't sniff what John Cena did to Roman Reigns. It's like just like that. Like
It
it's
always
like
comes back to the Cena Roman stuff.
yes, bro. That promo was so significant to me. It's like, bro, I was like, Austin, you can't top that. And because you know what's crazy? I was like, I never seen a scenario in which Austin was serious. Not to say he was always serious, because he always was in his promos. I'm talking about straight up mano a mano. Let's do a promo. The only person I could think of, in my personal opinion, that could go toe to toe with John Cena on the mic is CM Punk. That's my personal opinion. I think he's the only one that I think that could go against John Cena on the mic.
Right, because we've
Outside of
seen it
him,
like so
right?
many
Exactly.
times.
So many
But
times.
yeah,
Outside of CM Punk, I don't believe there's anybody that could touch John Cena on the mic. Zero. Nobody else.
Yeah, yeah. Listen,
not a bad.
Cena would have went, and that's the crazy thing too. Like his act would have went over so well in the Attitude Era, man. Like the shit that
Yeah.
he got away with a lot of shit in the, in this Doctor of Thugonomics,
Yeah.
in the Ruthless Aggression era.
The
But
aggression era. Yeah.
the amount of leeway that he would have gotten if he was in the
Yes.
Attitude Era would have been insane,
Yes.
insane to the point of
He would
where
have.
like
He would have dominated.
you think how how do you think a how do you think a battle promo with with Cena and Stone Cold would
Yeah.
have went back in the Attitude Era? That would have been insane to watch. It would have been
Yeah.
insane to watch. So like it's but you know what, guys, it's fun to talk about all of this stuff, because like we can put together scenarios in our head, and I know like it's fun to just think about all the awesome shit that we could have
Mm-hmm.
we could have possibly gotten, the dream
Yeah.
promos and all that shit.
Hmm.
But let's not forget, man, the resume speaks for itself. Like, we don't have to make shit complicated. Why do we always have to make shit complicated and act like greatness isn't meant to be surpassed? Why?
Because we
That's
Why
like
do
to
funny.
we act like that?
because
Why do we act like that?
because the fact of the matter is, we like, yo, we like, because fans are biased as fuck, and we want our own leeway to make sure that we are right. That's the, like,
But that's what
fans.
Ab-
makes wrestling fun, man.
Absolutely.
That's what
That
makes wrestling fun.
Absolutely.
It's
exactly.
all
You know,
debatable. It's all
Yeah.
up
these
in the air. Like
talks, absolutely, yeah.
nothing is solidified ever.
Yeah, these talks are fun,
Exa-
man, but like I think it's time for for us to just admit just a little bit here, right? That we're
mm-hmm.
kind of crazy. Like people like there's some shit that people say that they shouldn't really get away with. Like you have the facts literally
Yeah.
in your face, and you legitimately say, yeah, Randy Savage is better. What?
Almost like some
Cena
Skip
got the
Bayless about
promos.
LeBron.
Cena got
Almost
the
like
right.
Skip
Cena
Bayless.
got the promos. Cena got the matches. Cena got the peak. Cena got what?
Yeah, I feel
Okay.
you. Well,
All right.
I feel you on
All
that.
right.
But just us being fans, but like, yo, that's the Wrestling Hypothesis podcast, where we break the hype, expose the truth, and speak for fans to see what the business really is today. Because if you ain't talking, I ain't watching. I am so glad Kenny came in at the right time for this debate. Abba, my man, I'm happy as always. See you. So looking forward to Survivor Series and stuff like that. And hopefully we'll see you soon. Peace, good people.
Yeah, shaping up to be an interesting weekend. We'll
The
see what happens.
greatest
Oh
War
yeah. Oh
Games
yeah.
match in history is about to take
Yeah.
place tomorrow night.
Yes.
It's
Yeah,
gonna
we'll
Yes.
be
see.
it's
I'm
going
looking
it's
forward
gonna be
to it.
great. It's gonna be great.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, we'll
All
see
right.
what happens, guys.
Peace.